Thanks for checking into my Monday night discussion here. And if you walk outside, you take in all that air, that's called the pattern change that I've been talking about since December. At times, I was started to doubt things, but I tried to stick with my guns. And it's good to see now that we have some fresh Arctic air on tap. Actually, not even on tap, it's here. And you can see that big Arctic high to our northwest pumping in all this frigid cold air. I mean, temperatures are going to be single digits. Tri-state area in the suburbs, in some places, especially the higher elevations up in Vermont. You can have sub-zero temperatures. But what I want to focus on today is the longer period, so in particular early next week to mid next week, and what our storm chances are, because I do think we have the potential for a storm system. Now, it's extremely complicated to work out the details at this point because there's so much going on. So let me start off by showing you, again, the up-rear projection of an ensemble. And an ensemble basically takes an operational model, say, for instance, a GFS weather model. It runs it multiple times, varies those inputs to say, okay, how could this model be wrong? So all those different variations, let's average and see what it looks like. So right here, all you're looking at is blue represents cold, colder than normal conditions. Red represents warmer than normal conditions or high pressure. You can kind of see how the jet stream's aligning. So I'm taking you now till Sunday morning. And if you really look closely, I'm actually going to show you something else here if they have it. If you look closely at what our weather pattern is going to look like, we're going to have a big split flow in the jet stream. So here's our northern branch up here, and here's our enhanced southern branch because of the El Nino. Now, because of this big ridge out west and all this energy underneath, and this big vortex-like feature, which is actually a piece of the polar vortex over the Hudson Bay, we have to say, okay, we have an Arctic press of air and we have energy on the field. We could see a big storm here, especially when I see blocking or red over the top. The problem is there's so much energy floating around right now, and the best way to show that is by looking at the up-air vorticity or spin in the atmosphere. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all these different disturbances in the atmosphere. The model's trying to handle, and we're talking about 144 plus hours out. So if you just, for instance, take a look at this little piece down here. If I go all the way back to where things are right now, that little piece of energy, okay, is way up here near the Aleutian Islands. So the models are going to have a hard time figuring out where all this sets up by the time we get to early next week. And for example, this is today's run of the GFS ensemble. Let's even see what it looked like on Sunday, right? Things are all over the place, right? So this is Sunday, and this is now today. You can see how this changes so rapidly just because there's so much going on. But one thing I'm pretty confident about is that we're going to see this big press of Arctic air due to the piece of the vortex sitting here because you have all this red or high pressure over the top. And we're going to have one piece, possibly two pieces of energy trying to consolidate along the East Coast along with blocking. So I'm not even going to show the operational models because they're just going to flip around too much. Let's show what the ensembles are showing right here in terms of where a low pressure center could form. So this is the European ensemble. So again, we're averaging all those different runs that tested the operation for error. You can see it brings a low pressure center just to the east of the Appalachians up the coast. This would be more of a rain event, snow interior scenario. If we go to the GFS ensemble, okay, same thing done with the GFS model. Okay, GFS, if we go back here, has a low pressure center forming in the Gulf of Mexico, similar to European, and again, it brings it right up the coast. Okay, but again, I want to go back, and sorry for saying again 10 times, but the thing I'm looking at is this press of Arctic air next week is impressive. And when I see these highs pushing down like this, and I see an active subtropical jet underneath, something has to give. And I don't favor inland track. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a snowstorm yet in the tri-state area, but I think this is the best chance you have all season. And if anything, I think if this misses, it misses out to sea. I don't think this cuts in because I think this little vortex up here, okay, might end up being stronger than modeled, so giving more of a press, which would mean we could have a storm that goes out to sea. So too much uncertainty. Can't make a call yet on this. Just wanted to cut a video. I'll update this again tomorrow morning. Thanks for checking in, guys. The weather's waking up. The pattern change is here. It's going to be a lot of fun.